God's continual protection. God knows the future without his foreknowledge influencing it, because he views it as an outside observer. God is totally separate and distinct from space, time, and matter. Therefore, just as he looks at the universe from outside, so he sees past, present, and future from outside, knowing it all at once. We are finite, and God is infinite. Therefore, we could not possibly understand how he knows the future. He has given us enough intelligence, however, to understand that he must know it. As David said, speaking for all mankind, "Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it." Psalm 139, verse 6. Scripture makes it equally clear that God is no passive observer, entirely disinterested in events taking their own course. Keeping a watchful eye and playing an active part, he fulfills his eternal purpose for all creation. As the psalmist declared, "Say unto God, How terrible, awesome art thou in thy works! Come and see the works of God. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. He ruleth by his power forever." Psalm 66, verses 3, 5, and 7. God exerts his influence upon men and events exactly as he has foreknown he would from eternity past, in order to create the future for us that he desires and has willed. In light of man's willful intentions and actions, whatever influence or action God has foreknown would be necessary on his part to implement. His plans would obviously also be part of God's foreknowledge, eliminating any necessity of emergency adjustment. At times, all Christians have an awareness of God's marvelous and gracious intervention in their lives. Just-in-time intervention, the way God, from our perspective, so often works, may seem like a last-minute thought and action on his part, but that is clearly not the case. No doubt, his good hand is always upon his people, but in ways beyond human comprehension. As David said again, "Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? Into heaven, in hell, the uttermost part of the sea. Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God! How great is the sum of them! If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee." Psalm 139, verses 5 to 18.